Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yadi and today we'll be doing the 3 color challenge. So I have here this swatch card that I've had for a while for my watercolor palette, and I've lightly numbered each color. And here I have the same number for all of the swatches, and I'm going to cut it up real quick and throw it in a jar and we'll randomly pick some colors. Okay, so I'm keeping the lid on so that hopefully you can see that I'm doing this super randomly and I'm not purposely looking. 1, 2, dropped one. 3. Okay, let's see what colors we have. All right, so we have number 1, number 6, and number 11. So that would be this yellow, this blue, and this brown. Not my favorite colors from this set, but they don't call this an art challenge for nothing, so let's get started.
Alright, so since we're in the holiday season right now, I figured that a lot of you would be looking for some gift ideas or cute gifts to make for someone. So I thought I'd share with you some watercolor gift ideas for the artists in your life. In a bit, I'm going to go into that, but first, let's talk a little bit about this painting. So like I said, these colors are not colors that I use frequently, and I think part of that is because they're more cool toned colors, and I tend to lean more towards warm toned colors when I'm painting. I just like the way they look better, and I just feel like I've gotten more practice with them. So I was a little bit scared to take on these colors. I swatched them, and once I saw what the base colors look like together, I kind of got thinking of like a winter scene sort of, and I searched for one, and this is the reference that I'm kind of using as inspiration. Now, when I swatched these colors, I also swatched them with each other to see all of the different color combinations I could get out of them. And oh my god, I found this new blue that I am completely in love with. It's a lot of blue and a little bit of brown, and it gives it this depth that I just have never made before with blue and black. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if there's sound in the background. I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood today. Everyone has been so loud. But this blue, oh my god, my mind is blown. So before I've even started painting, I'm already grateful that I did this challenge because it forced me to put together colors that I've never really thought about. And now I've found a new blue that has like taken my heart. So now I'm going to get into some gift ideas for watercolor artists. And I thought I would get us started with a really cute starter set idea. So you could grab a pencil, it could be any type of pencil, it doesn't really matter, and grab a brush and a watercolor palette and just like a few sheets of paper, tie it all together with a cute little ribbon, and that makes a super adorable little watercolor starter set you could gift to somebody who maybe likes to make art but hasn't tried out watercolors yet. So that would be a great way to get them started. And I'm going to delve into some tips for what to look for with like brushes and paints, like right now. So watercolor brushes tend to act differently than other brushes. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're shopping. Watercolor brushes tend to be softer and they tend to hold more water, which kind of helps with the whole watercolor painting. So you're gonna wanna look for brushes that say they're specifically for watercolor, and watch out for brushes that say they can be for both acrylic and watercolor, because for the most part that isn't the case. The brush that I tend to use is a size 4 Holbein, or Holbein, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And I will include links in the description below of every art supply I talk about. And if I can't find any links to the direct art supply that I use, I'll find something that's as close to it as possible. Okay, so let's talk about paper. Now, what you're gonna wanna look for is paper that has 300 GSM or more. That ensures that it's able to handle the kind of heavy duty water that watercolor brings with it. What I've been using in a lot of my videos lately has been the Travelog watercolor journal, and that's worked great for me personally. Another good paper type that you could look for that's pretty good in price is the Strathmore watercolor series. They are generally available in any Michaels or Hobby Lobby you go, and they always have like pretty cool deals going on, so you could probably get them for like super cheap. Now I'm gonna move on to the best part of watercolor art supplies, and that is the paint. So I'm gonna start off suggesting a brand in a lower price range and then move up from there. We're gonna start talking about Prang, and I hope I pronounced that right. I haven't personally had the chance to use these watercolors yet, but I've heard about them from multiple sources in the art community. They get talked about all the time as like the top brand to turn to for beginner watercolors, and they're really good in price too. The Prang is a good set for somebody who hasn't tried watercolor yet and they're looking to get started. The price isn't bad, so they won't feel like weird using it to practice, but they're still a pretty good quality so that they're still getting a good introduction to proper watercolors. Next, I'm gonna move up another level, and this will be sort of like a mid-priced range watercolor set. And this set is the Arteza watercolor pan set. They also have it in tubes, but I personally prefer pans overall. The Arteza would be a good gift for somebody who's dabbled a little bit in watercolor and is ready to go up another level. I know I'm showing them to you as this like unopened package, but I actually plan on opening them in front of you guys for a different video, so that'll be happening later on. And next I'm going to move up another level to a bit of a higher priced set of watercolors, and these are definitely not like the most expensive set that you can get out there, but they're definitely not super cheap. They are the White Nights watercolor set, and if you've watched any of my watercolor videos, these are the paints that I use. The pigment is super saturated and they paint like butter. I love them. They're really great. Now, the White Nights would be a good set to give to someone who's had a good amount of experience with some of the cheaper brands of watercolor, and they're maybe looking to better the quality of the paints that they're using. These White Nights could even be used a bit more professionally, so if they're looking to start selling, these would make a good gift for that person. Alright, so we talked about the main basic supplies that you could gift. Next, we're gonna talk about like accessories, and these are little sort of watercolor knickknacks that you can gift a watercolor artist, and they would totally appreciate and use the heck out of these. So the first thing we're going to talk about is washi tape. And washi tape is basically this tape that isn't so strong that it like rips paper, but it's strong enough to tape paper down and keep it from buckling while you're adding water to it. So washi tape is super important for anybody who uses like a heavy amount of water with their watercolors, and it's just a really helpful item to always have. It also tends to be relatively inexpensive, and it comes in crazy adorable patterns. So even if your watercolor artist friend already has a bunch of washi tape, they're kind of gonna love getting a new pattern anyway. The next thing we'll talk about is a mini bottle spritzer. This would be great for somebody especially just starting out because they might not have this on hand, but it's a big help for wetting your watercolor paints a few minutes before you start painting, and that really gets them activated and has them like perfectly creamy and ready to paint with. You could also get them an eyedropper tool. It would be really helpful for basically bringing water over to your palette and mixing colors. You might want to consider getting them a white pen. I personally have the Jelly Roll. I'm not totally in love with it, but it works. A lot of other artists have talked about the Uniball white pen. You might want to check that out. You could always get your watercolor friend 1 to 2 small jars. I repurpose mine from Wee yogurt bars. What? I repurpose mine from Wee yogurt jars that I buy, but you could probably get some really cute ones from the dollar store. Another cool thing you could get is this weird nubby paint thing. I will have the proper name for this on the screen, but I can never quite remember what it's called. But basically you take this little thing and you put it onto the bottom of your cup of water, and you take your dirty brush and you kind of rub it gently against it, and it's supposed to help the paint come off of the brush. I use it for all of my paintings. I've even used it for acrylic and watercolor, and it works great. I think it makes like a cute little knick-knack gadget. And finally, this gift wouldn't be something that you'd think of right away if you were trying to think of gifts for a watercolor artist, but I think for me, I love it and it helps me out for every single painting I've done. It is a candle. I feel like for me, candles kind of get me in the mood and relaxed and like ready to paint, and it just makes my day to have a new scented candle. I've seen other artists also use candles, so I don't think I'm just like the only one. But you should totally consider that. I get my candles from like the dollar section in Target, so they're super cheap, they work amazing, and once your artist friend finishes your candle, they'll have this adorable new little jar to put all of their art supplies in. There's just nothing that can go wrong with this as a gift. So those are all my gift ideas. Let's jump back into this painting. This painting was a total and complete struggle. Every decision I made on this painting made it worse. The colors didn't blend the way I wanted them to. There was either too much water on most parts or not enough water on some parts, and then when I added more water, it like blended out in a way I didn't intend. I just felt like every step I made was wrong and it ruined the whole piece, and it just eventually built up to a point where I thought there was like no going back, and I had to put the brush down and shut everything down and leave. And I let that painting sit for almost a week. This painting was actually supposed to go out last week and it just didn't. I just gave up on it, and I just didn't feel good about it or about my own painting skills, so I just needed to look away from it for a bit. Now, after that time passed, I went back to it and I decided that I needed to finish this painting. I did not want to give up. I didn't want to quit. Like, part of me kind of wanted to paint something else for you guys and just never show you that I did the 3-color challenge because I thought I messed it up so bad. But the other part of me really didn't want to just stop halfway through, because then I feel like that's like giving up on myself, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see this through, and if at the end I still didn't feel like it was quite right, I would have made you guys a different 3-color painting. But I went back to it and I kept going. I did add some white to the end. I just felt like I really needed that opaque white feeling for the snow, and I didn't think I could get that from the canvas. So I added that white, and at the end, I added some stars, and I think I hit the brush too hard, so the stars came out really wonky. Basically, it looks like there are several shooting stars coming out of the ground. But yeah, here's my finished piece. I did manage to clean up the shooting stars a little bit. Luckily, because everything is water soluble, I could just add water to it and pick it up, and it didn't mess too much with the paint below it. So this is how it came out, and I am surprisingly happy with it. With the kind of struggle that I went through with this piece, I really didn't think that I would like the end result, but now I am so glad that I finished my painting. If you guys ever feel hopeless with a painting, you should always at least try to finish it to the end, because there's definitely some learning that can be done from that piece and that process. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking around up to this point. If you had fun with me today, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!